Murderbot 3. No, we actually have 3 episodes to talk about.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, because I was gone.
A long time.
But I'm back.
But you're back. 3
Yeah, first
episodes.
I was gone and then Rachel was gone.
Yeah, there's
Everybody
many
was
gones.
And I was just here being alone, watching it when I was supposed to, waiting. in
You
the
did as
room.
assigned.
As assigned, which normally isn't me. Straight A student over here. Where were
Go
y'all
ahead.
going? Where'd you go?
Oh, I was
Tell
on
us
a
what
road
you
trip.
did.
I was at a work conference.
Yeah. I came down to North Carolina, got in a Class A motorhome, and rode with my mom all the way back up.
And 2 kids.
Yeah, we drove 1,500 miles in the motorhome.
Is that
Because
how
she
long
didn't
it
want to go
is?
over the bridge, so we took a 600-mile detour through Wisconsin.
I mean, I completely understand that. Like, I completely get that's so valid.
Yeah.
Bridges are terrifying. I don't know why they make you feel so trapped. And
Because
then
you can't get off.
And
You're
it,
just
yes, you feel trapped. Aren't there businesses that will like drive you across?
Yeah, and the Mackinac Bridge, it will do that too. You pay $10 and they'll drive you across.
$10?
Yeah,
So reasonable.
I know.
So reasonable. Well, I'm redecorating and painting every room in my house. So if it looks like I'm a hoarder, it's because it feels like I'm a hoarder. Because all of my things are in my living room. So
I hate it when you have to do that. You have to do the gather stuff.
Everything I own is in the living room, and it is overwhelming. And I'm painting, and it's taking longer than I expected. So I've been in hoarder mode for like a week, and that's it feels like a long time. Anyways, Murderbot.
Yeah.
Murderbot.
We left off when Murderbot got shot.
Hi, I'm Kate.
Oh, hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Matt.
Welcome to the Strange and Beautiful Book Club.
Murderbot
edition.
Yeah.
Not Feast Sheet the Shatter, Kate.
Nope. Not today.
Not yet.
Not today.
Soon.
Yeah. Soon. Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So we left off when Murderbot got shot. Really? Honestly, I don't think that's when we left off.
I'm going to try refreshing.
Well, I looked up. We did the first 3 episodes, didn't we? Because we did 1 and 2, because that's what came out first.
Yeah.
And then we would have done 3, and 3 was the one where he got shot at the end.
Yep.
And then when you came back in 4, it was when he was being dragged down the hallway. And we got a theme song for Sanctuary Moon.
Oh, yeah.
Which was so exciting. You need to turn your mic off. Yeah.
It's because I refreshed the page.
Okay. It was so, like...
the Sanctuary Moon content is amazing.
Sorry, I had to make sure she wasn't being. I was like, what are you doing? I'm always scared she's going to do something crazy, like pee on the couch. Yeah, Sanctuary Moon. I don't really remember. So what happened at the beginning of the...
You didn't rewatch it to review for the podcast, Kate?
I've rewatched. I've watched
4.
it two times. Yeah.
Episode 4, he wakes up. He's being dragged down the hallway by the other.
Yeah,
the
and
other
it says
unit.
that his or its system just keeps throwing its most used media into its
its most used memory into its buffer
page or whatever, and it's the Sanctuary Moon theme song.
Yeah, the intro where it introduces the cast.
Yeah.
But it's all glitchy.
Right. And so it puts it up on the table, and it's going to put the combat override module on the back of its neck.
Far beyond the wormhole.
And so it starts singing.
Where only lovers go.
My favorite reoccurring joke is when they'll say something about it not being like prestige TV, and he's like, go fuck yourself. Yes, it is. Or how when they meet Labubu, what's Labibi?
Labibi.
Oh my God. So I don't remember what episode it was, but the episode where they meet Labibi, to me, that was for me, that was the episode that I thought was tonally perfect.
Yes.
Like it was just so funny. And we kind of know what what she was going to be about. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is different, and I love this.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm Labibi, and then she goes and tries to like cross his boundaries, have
Yeah.
zero regard for him as a sentient being.
Yeah.
But I thought she was so funny. I thought that was hilarious. And I
Yeah.
think
When
that's
does it have a
episode.
pee-pee?
I think it's
Do you think it has a
yeah.
pee-pee?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, I'm so glad I was asleep for this.
Yeah, that's episode 5. So episode 4 is when they
It ends with him shooting himself. That's what episode 4 ends
Yeah,
with.
before they get on the
Okay.
hopper. Yeah, episode 5, they're on the hopper.
Yeah.
Yeah, so episode 4 is what you were saying when you said in our last episode that you
I
were
hope they
really
include
hoping
that.
they do not skip this part.
And
Mhm.
they
And-
didn't,
and
and
they
it was
did-
perfect.
Yeah, it really was. I thought of you
Yeah.
the whole time. I was like, and they did it at the end. I was like, why haven't they done the thing yet?
Yep.
Where's the
Yeah.
thing? Where's the thing?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
That's the cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the cliffhanger.
We even got him calling Mensa an intrepid galactic explorer,
Yeah.
which in the book is just in its mind. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe Mensa is an intrepid galactic
Right,
explorer.
because he's loopy because of the command
Yeah, but
override.
in this one, it's like, I said maybe Mensa is an intrepid galactic explorer, and
Mhm.
she's like, I don't think I am actually, but that's fine. It's like, shh, whatever you say,
Or-
Captain.
Or when the is it Penley that's driving the hopper or whatever it is when it steps on the
Yes.
is it
Mhm.
are they calling that a combat unit or are they
They
calling it
didn't
a
say.
sec
Yeah,
unit?
they don't say. It's different. It's a different color, different armor. So it could be a combat unit.
But they haven't differentiated.
But based on how Murderbot talks about combat units in the book, I'm guessing this is just a different uniform of sec unit.
Mm.
Okay.
Because a combat unit would just be, it would wipe them out with barely even trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and that whole thing that made me laugh when they step on him and they
Oh, yeah.
squish him. Yeah.
Perfect
Yeah, the
comedic
tone
execution.
of it is so good, and I'm actually
Mhm.
really enjoying. I know we've talked about it a couple times. The episode length, I think it is really
Mhm.
perfect. It
Mm.
really does feel like it feels like what do they call it? Programming, like something you would just download and watch and binge, and it would just
Yeah.
be
Mhm.
to fall in line with Sec Unit's needs.
To binge things.
Yeah,
I love it
to
when
just-
it showed up in Sanctuary Moon. It saw itself in Sanctuary Moon.
That
And
was
Alexander
hilarious.
Skarsgård got the wig.
yeah.
like-
Yes. And Mensa was the John Cho character.
Yes.
The captain.
That whole part was so good. And then at the end, of course, it shoots itself because it realizes finally what's happening. And it's like, I'm going to kill you all. You have to kill me. And they're like, no, we can't kill you. And it's like, cool, I'll kill myself.
Yep.
Which is what happens in the book. And in the book, it's like, they didn't talk about it and it's fine. Where it's like, oh, I didn't shoot myself in the head. I must have really not wanted to die. But we don't get that till the second episode, the next episode where they're bringing it back to life. And they're like, oh my God, they are so fucking stupid. Like, I'm going to wake
Yeah.
up and kill everybody again.
Right.
Why did
And
I
they-
even shoot myself?
And they fix him really fast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We just get the.
Maybe this hippie does know what she's doing.
Yeah.
I
We'll just
really
pull the little
like
strands
the
out.
depiction
Yeah.
of Bharadwaj.
Yeah, I like it that we're adding more Bharadwaj.
hmm
Because she's in the book, but she's in the book as like, oh, she's still in medbay. Is she okay? Yeah, she's still
Right.
in medbay.
Yeah, she's a character to be traumatized and demonstrate that the situation's serious.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I almost got eaten when she's talking to little BB. She was like, I was almost food.
Yeah.
I was food.
When they said Labibi, all I could think of was from Willow when the little brownies were like, we stole Labibi.
Oh, we stole the baby while we were peeing.
Labibi.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys, have y'all seen Labubu's? Do you know what those are?
I know of them.
Labubu's.
They're little dolls, yeah.
They're little dolls, and they're really cute. And I want one, but that's what I was like, Labubu and Labibi. And when they call her BB, she's like, it's Labibi.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really funny. She just comes rolling out of the woods, like
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
actress knocks it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
she really does.
You know who
Yeah.
else is perfect? Rothy.
Yeah.
Rothy's perfect. the way it's like
himbo energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that exchange when he picks up the gun and he's
And then he
holding
has
it
to
wrong. And they're like, you're holding it wrong.
They
And
have
he's
to
like,
keep correcting him.
I'm going to go save it. And they're like, you're being really macho right now and it's disgusting and I don't like it. And he's like, I really like all of you guys.
You are both amazing
They
people.
have this really high frequency exchange where he's like, I'm just going to go save him. And they're like, I don't want you to. And he's like, yeah, I really value you guys. And then he leaves. It's so perfect. And then he's asking, like, what does the dial on the side of the gun do? And they're like, that's the safety. And he's like, oh, okay. I turned it off.
Yeah.
I think in the book, Arata was there were like 2 people that had actually done weapons training.
Yeah, Arata's one of them.
And Arata was one of them.
I like what they're doing with Arata. I really do. I was worried for the first 3 episodes that she was just going to be like the throwaway Pinley foil, like to show, just to be the like the ultra correct, the too far left character. But in
the
this
leftist. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the last couple of episodes, I really feel like they nailed her because there's that part where Pinley's like, why does Mensa even have to volunteer? It's a stupid rule. And she's like, no, babe, it's a cool rule. It's a cool rule. Don't speak in the moment right now. It's a cool rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like. And then she goes, they're going to pick up Murderbot. And Arata's like, I can't. I'm sorry. This is too much. I'm going to do something else. And they're like, it's okay. It's fine. We'll handle it. It was good. Like, I really love the way they're depicting the people as they're both the people from the book, but they've also given them flaws, which they lack in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're just more dimensional.
Yeah. I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah. And that is really great for the TV too. Cause I'm curious how people are responding to it that haven't read the book. I have a friend that is
I'm not engaging with any
content.
Murderbot content online. Yeah.
I've looked on Reddit a couple times, but nothing. Sometimes you just can't. You just gotta.
I've seen a couple snips of interviews with Martha Wells.
Well,
talking about Murderbot, but
Skarsgård's popped up on my For You page a bunch, but
yeah. I think we're kind of in the middle road where like the people who are huge fans of the books
are watching,
but then there's like that subset of people that are mad about all the changes that they took out or say that they're making Mensa more emotional and that they're adding. I mean, they have added stuff. They have moved stuff around. I don't care. It's not the book. It's a TV show.
I think it's working.
Well, I think the one thing about Mensa that feels really different to me, and this could be just my interpretation of her character, but I do think that because of, I don't know that when I was reading the book, I was like, this person is incredibly competent and there's no doubt and nothing that, like, I just accepted her completely as this leader and this person that is the tip of the triangle, right?
Yeah.
Like we understand completely why she is in charge. Like she's the only one that can fly. Like she has all these things about her that feel very like purposeful. And I feel like in the show, it is a little bit diluted and not as emphasized, right?
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get that towards the end of the show that like what she's doing, this is why she is
I
in
bet they're
charge.
going to pull it out when they get back to the station and she's purchasing Murderbot.
Well, I feel like we started getting it in the second to last episode when Murderbot threatens Gura.
Rogue War Tracker Infinite is the name of the
episode. And she does the thing where she's like, listen, Murderbot, we need you to keep helping us until we get to a place of safety. And don't worry, we'll cover your tracks. We won't tell anybody that it's hacked.
What do you think about this? In her group, she feels safe to appear vulnerable.
Sure. Okay.
But amongst like Corporation Rim strangers, she's going to be a lot more firm and like
mastermindy.
Projecting confidence.
Sure. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was saying we get a couple little snips there where she makes unilateral decisions and everyone's like, what about consensus? And she's like, we'll get there eventually. I don't know. I just got to make the decision right now.
Yeah.
She does that a couple times in those episodes and I was like, oh, there's Mensa. Okay.
Yeah. The pragmatism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want that to be emphasized as but that could be part of her journey. It does seem like everybody started one place and is headed towards another, but I also maybe need to kind of unpack myself on why, like, her being more vulnerable, and she's also trying to do that to kind of see where he's coming from. Like, I think she's pushing him to see, like, to really get down to what's going on with this sec unit that has all these feelings that he's
like,
pretending
she has
like we can't see.
that he has a deeper sense of self than anybody ever expected, but she doesn't know for sure yet.
And it also,
so she's trying to provoke him a little bit.
Well, and giving her anxiety gives Murderbot and Mensa a way for us to visually see them coming together. Where in the book you can kind of get it, but you know, you have to, when you make it into a visual form, you need to you need to give them a place to come together. And so we got that scene where she was about to have a panic attack and he puts on TV. He's like, I know exactly what to do. And he's like, and this is the one where this person has been adopted by these crystal people who have half his lifespan. And she's like, logistically though, and he's like, it's canon. It's canon.
It's canon. He said, yeah, I know.
Just
I laughed
don't worry
so hard
about
when he
it.
said that. It's canon. Like, no, why are you arguing? It's canon.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here. And then he walks her through and it's like a specific moment where he's like, and we breathe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately goes into everything he's learned is via Sanctuary Moon.
Yeah.
Is it Rogue War Tracker where the fifth episode where they fly to get to that's the end of the fourth one where they fly to go get the beacon, which
End of
happens
episode
towards
5 is where they go to get the beacon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That happens towards the end of the book. So in this, I like the pacing of it and how they're kind of moving that around. So we still have, how many episodes is it going to be? 8?
It's 10, I think. So we still have 4 more episodes.
Yeah. So it's happening a little bit sooner than later.
And I thought the addition of Labibi was a really good idea because it gave them a chance to explain things to Labibi.
Yeah.
And so we don't have to get the info dump from Murderbot that we get in the book where they're talking about the beacon. And she's like, well, what's the beacon? And they're like, well, it's like a thing that we send up and it calls a rescue ship. And she's like, oh, how long does it take to get here? Which is a question the viewer needs to know, but there's no real way to work it in. And so Labibi got to be the audience foil. And so she had a really good purpose. And then she ends up, when we no longer need her, she gets removed.
I just remembered that was how that ended.
Yeah.
That was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was full-blown sec unit, what sec unit could do.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like he had to show up. I feel like he was in his feelings a little bit and was like, you know what I can do? Look what I can do. Look what I can do.
You thought you had control of the situation. Wrong.
Yeah. They've just learned that he's actually a rogue. He's not connected, which really for some of them didn't change anything because they're like, oh, that's even more powerful because he's doing all of this on his own accord.
Right.
Like,
Bharadwaj and Mensa are immediately like, oh, he's been rogue this whole time. That means everything he's done to protect us, especially Bharadwaj, because she got saved by him, by it. And like they don't react very strongly to the fact that it's
not
been rogue this
immediately,
whole time.
not till it does something that they're like, oh shit.
Oh, it's actually dangerous.
Okay. It can shoot people's heads off.
Right.
Right.
With not a second thought.
No.
And then everybody's like, I'm not laughing at their immediate grief, but it was. I mean, that would be traumatizing.
Yeah. And it's like, why aren't they thanking me? Okay, whatever. I got stuff to do.
He literally like decapitated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was pretty violent.
Yeah. And then it's like, I need to get my spinal cord fixed if that's okay with everybody. And they're like, yep. Yep. It was a good moment because I think I pointed this out in the first episode that we did, where in the book, you're never, ever, ever afraid of Murderbot.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, it'll be like, I could kill all of these people. And you're like, yeah, but you won't. You won't. So whatever.
Right, you're in its head. So you know it's not actually going to follow through on.
Yeah. So I do like the emphasizing of like, this is why sec units are terrifying. This is why everyone is afraid of them. Because without their governor module, they're literally capable of anything. And so that moment where it actually does, I loved how they did the thing where it's immobilized and they're like, well, it's fine because it can't go anywhere anyway. And it's like, that's not going to work. And then we don't see it move. All of a sudden, it just grabs Grothin and pushes him against the wall. And I really liked how they did that. And that ended up being a more terrifying moment than in the book because we don't know as much about Murderbot as we do in the books because we haven't lived in its head in the same way. So that was a good moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like you.
I was telling Rachel that I feel like we're seeing Murderbot earlier in its psychological development from, just stock, sec unit, whatever, because it's literally just parroting Sanctuary Moon, like word for word, quoting it, rather than paraphrasing. Like we get in the book, it's more paraphrasing all the things that it has internalized from its shows. But in the show, we're getting more like this is the first time it's ever even considered like utilizing the things it gets from its shows. And so we're getting like a less mature Murderbot. But that means in the show, we get to see more
the growth,
like personality development.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who did you notice? Yeah. Sorry, my brain went, oh, I remember that part. Yeah. I agree. He does feel a little bit less developed because so much of his, by the time we meet him in the first book, he has been watching TV and for a long time.
Years.
Yeah, for a really long time. And so he is farther along. Yeah, I think that's a great, I have no qualms with that at all.
Right.
I think it's a really great move for TV. I wonder if they've already approved a second season.
I don't know. I hope
Do we
so.
know? It's
Let's
number
see. They
2.
have names. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. They've already put out names for 7, 8, 9, 10 for the episodes. But
do we have
I would hope so because it's really good.
An actor for art yet? You know who else would be a good art? That guy that is like Alan something that does character voices all the time. He's done like, you know who I'm talking about?
Is that the guy who has like the record for having the most voices?
No, but he's really funny even when he's acting. He was in hold on. He plays a robot in Andor.
Oh, Alan Tudyk?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he'd be really good.
I think Alan Tudyk is just the right amount of snarky.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't you know who I'm talking about? Like, why? This doesn't make any sense. You're supposed to know. Yeah,
he was in Firefly. He was in Resident Alien. He's Hey Hey in Moana.
Yeah,
Hey Hey the chicken.
Yes. Like I think he would be a really great art. But there was a part I don't know, it's an Easter egg. It's just like foreshadowing. In when he's talking to Menza, he's like, "Did you know they use this? And this is what they use in transport units."
Yeah.
He goes, "Did you know
the brain
they use?"
tissue.
He said they use. This is what they use in transport units.
Oh,
and I was like, art.
Good catch, Kate. I didn't catch that.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Oh my god, I hope so. I did like the the sec unit factory, the sec unit construction factory, where he's like, it's just nice to know that when people put you together, like there was rigorous quality control, and they pick up its hand and they're like, what is this shit? And the guy's like, sorry, you want me to trash it? And it's like, nah, it fits parameters, whatever. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, what's the PhD for this for the heads? And they're like, with intolerance. And it's like, yeah, you wouldn't want to create a chronically depressed, anxious Murderbot.
Yeah. Which is this, yeah, that's a great point. And making more emphasis on the fact, pointing to the fact that they are building these machines that they think are just robots.
Yeah.
Right.
And all of these little nuances actually show up in their personality that they have.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because it's all clone tissue.
And they all have different faces, and they say that. They're like, they all have different faces. It's not like in Clone Wars where they all have the same beautiful face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the art moment. I was like,
I'm so happy with all their changes. I'm just happy. Like, we got that time with Murderbot and Mensa together, which we don't get in the book, where he has to push her through cutting open his back. Its back.
Yeah. She's like, I'm a vegetarian. He goes, you're not going to eat me.
I know. And it's like,
what the fuck is your point? Yeah. I don't care.
Like, yeah. Little Jemmy? And it's like, Rothy and Urata and
right.
Oops, don't just quote it word for word. Got it.
Yep.
Yeah. I love the tone of Sanctuary Moon and how cheesy it is. And like, I feel like, he doesn't recognize that as cringy or cheesy.
He's still getting a lot out of it.
No.
Yeah. To him, that is premier quality content.
Television. Yeah.
Probably because
Men's is like,
all of the emotional stuff is over the top, which means it's easy for him to process.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not the like small new like micro expressions of being a human.
The stuff that he hasn't learned to pick up on yet.
Yeah.
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 Yes. Even Mensa's like Sanctuary Moon, and it's like, yeah, it's quality television. I don't.
He's
nothing.
Like,
what? You've never watched it? Why? It's the best television show ever made.
Yeah. Wait, did we get that? I think we did get the part where Rothy challenged him. That happened where he was like, you mean when this and this and this happened? And he goes, liar, fucking liar.
It was framed by Counselor Videmark. They added more to it, which was nice. They added like context.
Yeah. And them testing, like the fact that he is passionate about this show is so, I don't know. Yeah.
Season 19, episode 5. Like,
yeah.
It's like, wow, that's a really deep cut. It's like, yeah, I know this show. And we kept getting clips, and it was the John Cho character and the robot navigation bot.
Mm-hmm.
And them falling in love.
Talking about falling. I don't have memories. I have logs. It was so good. I'm so glad they included Sanctuary Moon. I'm glad they wove Sanctuary Moon into the show.
I mean, that's the only. Yeah, I mean, they really they had to.
They had to. I mean, they could have downplayed its role in Murderbot's life, and it would have ruined the show. So I'm glad they didn't. And then the part 1, it sings the theme song to get the combat unit to hesitate, and it's like, it's what is it? It's mesmerized by my beautiful voice. And then when it's watching the show with Mensa, it sings along.
Yeah.
And she's like, what?
I am a little surprised she doesn't I understand for the plot why she doesn't recognize anxiety. With them all being so emotionally intelligent, her not recognizing her panic attack, it feels a little like
contrived. Yeah.
Yeah, like we had to. Like I know that panic attacks feel like a heart attack, but also people who understand panic know that panic attacks feel like maybe she's just never been in a position where she's had so much like physical anxiety before.
Yeah, maybe this is the first time she's been this overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, if you think about later in the books, it's not really a spoiler, but after she goes through all the stuff she goes through with Murderbot and she ends up in need of trauma treatment.
Oh, yeah.
But won't go. And Murderbot ends up blackmailing her into going to get therapy.
Yeah.
So this kind of feels like it fits the later Mensa where she's so wrapped up in what everyone needs her to be and what everyone needs her to do that she doesn't take the time to work on her own mental health.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see it from that perspective.
Yeah.
But
I just love when she's like forcing her family stories on him because I feel like that's something I would do to somebody.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, no, and he's just like, what? I could be watching TV.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's the guy here mowing the lawn. I was like, why does it sound like someone's mowing my lawn? Well,
wait, is somebody mowing your lawn? What's the temperature there?
I think it's in the 60s today.
So it's nice there now.
Yeah.
So you went from winter to spring.
Spring-ish.
It's June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, it's
June
summer.
1,000 miles north of you. Yeah, it won't be summer here till like
Wait a minute.
July.
Are you so far north that your days are way longer in the summer? Like, will it be sunny at 10?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The
Wow.
sun, it just starts getting darker.
Like
dusk
9:30, 10 o'clock.
9:30, 10, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have long days.
Yeah.
I need to look at the globe and see where, like, what it's about, like, where it's close to.
We're like northern China.
Like
what do we
northern
think
China, as in like Russia?
No, like, what isn't it, Mongolia up at the top? I don't know.
Isn't it okay, I need to look at the globe. Don't let me be dumb American knows nothing about geography.
Well, it's hard. You know where things are, but it's hard to think of where things are.
I know where every state in this country is. Yeah.
Yeah. If you think about it in terms of like from the equator to the North Pole, we moved like a third of the way toward the North Pole.
Actually, sitting in front of another screen, I can literally look at it. Let me just pull it up really fast.
Well, we ended with them coming back, Mensa and Murderbot coming back, and Murderbot shooting Labibi while Labibi was threatening Gura.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the moment from the trailer where Gura's like, you could have shot me. And it's like, I mean, I could have, but I didn't. So it feels like success to me because it hates Gura. And then everyone is kind of disillusioned about this fluffy, enlightened robot that they thought they were living with. And we ended with him like, well, I really liked doing that. Like, I really enjoyed being able to just shoot Labibi.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering where we're going from here. And I guess this is probably the part where we're going to have the most spoilers because we can talk about what happens next in the book. So this is your moment, if you don't want spoilers, probably to just not listen any longer. But from here is when we go hide. And when they finally get a chance to analyze the alien relics. And
they haven't mentioned the alien relics again. So like they mentioned it that one time at the very beginning, and you were like, I'm surprised they mentioned it so early, and they're kind of bringing that back as a twist. Like, this is why these folks are here doing this right now. Right. They're looking for alien relics. Do they not end up using the alien relics to make their own money?
No.
They get to do that? They don't get their cheaper for that? Beyond them.
That's explicitly illegal in both preservation and the corporation rim. But then some companies in the corporation rim have a black market.
Yeah. And Labibi was trying to get them to admit that they'd seen it. That's what she kept fishing for.
That's what she was fishing for.
Where were you when it almost ate you?
Yeah.
And luckily Gura is pragmatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sus about everybody and everything, which makes you feel more sympathy for the way Gura is immediately suspicious of Murderbot because he's immediately suspicious of everybody.
Right.
And I'm wondering,
he's only been immediately suspicious about things he should be suspicious about.
Yeah, he's been pretty.
I mean, he's been dead on.
Point.
Like, you shouldn't trust Labibi, and Murderbot was rogue, and Gura could tell that.
He was right.
So he was right. So it's not like he's paranoid. He's just clocking things the way they need to be clocked.
But he grew up in the corporation rim.
Yeah.
So he's a lot more sensitive to the
bad intention.
Bad intentions. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking forward to the next one because it's going to be our our inn with only one bed where everybody's all trapped together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
I get it. I get it. Not
Yeah, I was like, girl, this ain't no romantasy.
But
ain't no romance.
Close the elevator
on here.
episode.
Yeah, sure,
it's gonna be the elevator episode where everyone is forced to interact with Murderbot after Murderbot just did a thing that they're like, oh no, because it killed itself to keep it from killing them. But I'm not sure that they ever believed that was actually a thing it was going to or could do.
Right.
And so realizing that could have been them if it had not taken steps to stop itself.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh, this is why it was so adamant about us killing it before it killed us. Because it literally could just walk in and headshot all of us in one go. Yeah.
And it chooses not to. But it knew, I was a little bit shocked by that. I think it was meant to be shocking, though.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they had not included it in the trailer.
Oh, they did?
They did.
For the following week?
No, the trailer, like the overall trailer that they put out of Murderbot, includes that shot of the blood spot on the wall, and Gura saying, Gura talking about how you could have killed me, and he's covered in blood. And Labibi's the only character that we introduced that is not in the book and that could conceivably be killed without really changing the plot. So as soon as Labibi showed up, I was like, oh, she's the one who gets killed.
And Labibi could not be the leader, too. She could be just another person in the other.
I
think Labibi was just there to gather information.
So she's not. Yeah, because at first I thought, well, is she the leader of the other? Because we meet the leader of the other group, the bad guys.
Eventually, yeah. We should
so
soon,
I thought
soon they should be setting up their sting operation to.
Yeah, initially I thought, oh, maybe that's who this is, but it's not. I don't think it is because they just popped her head off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mongolia.
I was right.
And France.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, in France. So everything above France is. Yeah, okay. Sorry.
We got it.
Where you are. It's easy to find where you live geographically.
Oh, yeah. It's easy to just zoom all the way in from space
really
view.
Close to it because I know exactly. Yeah. Anyways.
Mostly just that I'm looking forward to the next episode. I'm sort of glad we were 3 behind because they were 3 really big cliffhangers. And so I got to just watch them back to back to back.
Must be nice.
I would have been I'm sorry,
we watched
Kate.
the 2 right when you got back.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh no.
Because we ended on the one where the hopper blew up. And I was like, oh no, Mensa. But that was good. And then it runs out of coolant. It's like, I'm fine. I'm way better at surviving than you are, and it just falls forward. I did like that.
Yeah, like nothing can. I don't have blood. Nothing can hurt me.
Yeah,
and then just like faints.
Yeah, I do like that Murderbot is a little more fallible in the television show. I think I've seen that as a complaint from some people that are fans of the book. Is that they're giving him like Mensa has to save Murderbot when they're in the Delphal habitat. And that's not how that happens in the book. Even with the combat override module, it manages to save Mensa and get her on the hopper. And later, Mensa has to save it again by giving it more coolant because it didn't stop itself from bleeding out. And in the books, that's probably one of my chief complaints is by the time we get to the novel, Murderbot is pretty much invincible. It can hack any system. It can move through the world without being detected. And unless it's really trying to protect someone, it can just avoid any problems. Like there's nothing that threatens Murderbot unless it's trying to protect someone. And after a while that gets like, okay, great. What creative way is it going to solve its way out of this problem, which is fine, but I never for once think it's not gonna work. And so I'm really glad that we introduced more fallibility to Murderbot earlier. Because that's what makes it an interesting character.
Right.
Yeah. Because it lends an element of uncertainty. Is it going to be able to protect these people or not? So.
Which is a little more engaging.
And I think the idea of when it gets to, well, I don't remember when it happens in the books, but it's like, this is my crew.
Yeah.
These are my people. I choose to continue to do this. And they're getting him there.
Yeah.
For the payoff of that, which in the books you kind of, I don't know, like you said, he has a special set of skills.
Yeah.
And like it's cozy because you know he's always going to be able to best everybody.
Right. Which would make for boring TV. So it's really nice that they.
I don't know. I kind of love that.
I think we're gonna get there by the end of this.
I don't really need some stakes. Just give me some character development and I'm satisfied. So
a lot of times in the books when he's up against somebody challenging, you're not actually worried about him getting killed because, well, there's like more books or whatever. But even just inside the story, you're not worried about it. You're more curious about, what clever preparation does he have ready to execute on to defeat this seemingly overpowered enemy? Like when he was fighting the actual combat unit, and he pulled out all this stuff to like use the environment to his advantage.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see where we're going. Because now they all know Murderbot for Murderbot.
Yeah, I think we're going to, I'm just predicting, but I think we're going to get back to the preservation. I think we're going to get back and see the end. I think we're going to get art this season.
I can tell you're banking on art. I hope we get art.
I know. I just do. I think
and I hope it gets to season 2. I guess it's popular. It shows up on the top 10 for Apple.
Yeah, there hasn't been a confirmation of season 2 yet.
Yeah, but Apple doesn't necessarily. I mean, I'm trying to think of shows that haven't been. I mean, they do what they want. Yeah. Honestly, because people find Apple shows later. Not everybody has Apple TV, and that's dumb. You should have it because the best programming out there has it. I keep telling people on the internet, I keep having respectful discourse over people wanting like certain IP to go to HBO. And I'm like, HBO's days are not like over when it comes to trusting them with fantasy.
Yeah.
I don't trust Amazon. I just think Apple's doing it. Like they're doing it, and HBO can go suck it. Unless they want to redo the last season of Game of Thrones and prove to everyone that they have what it takes to finish something well. Don't get out of here with that.
And Amazon will cancel anything. They just canceled Wheel of Time. Which was doing really well.
Was it though? But I don't know.
They said it was because it was really expensive to make. So they
it wasn't
canceled
doing
it
well enough to support the budget.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things that they needed to finish, and then it would have, over time, it would have built. But
what would they have done? 14 seasons?
I mean, they could have foreshortened it. There's definitely filler that could be.
There's so much filler.
Chopped.
Yeah.
Chopped and removed.
Yeah.
But it's
you
fine.
You could have removed whole sections of the book and then turned that into like spin-off series.
I wonder if I always wonder like when they pitch these big IPs if they give them like we can do this whole thing in 8 seasons. And so then you get them to commit to the thing.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to me the amount of I'm always in the fantasy world, but the romantasy world, but there are so many really silly books. They're not silly. A lot of people like them, but there's a lot of books being made into TV, and it's none of the big ones. Nobody's picking up ACOTAR. No one's picking up Throne of Glass.
Makes you wonder why.
Well, it's going back up for sale. Hulu owned it, and it's going back on the market this summer, I think. So we'll see. But it just the amount. It might be like I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I wish I understood the business behind it more because it doesn't make sense that the most valuable, popular one is not a go yet.
Yeah.
So I just think it's really hard with. Anyways.
Content is such a roulette right now. You never know. Murderbot could do great, and they could never make a season 2. They could just call it. I mean, because book 1 is a complete story.
Yeah, it does.
If you end at the end of book 1, depending on what they have Murderbot do at the end, it could be a complete story.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I get that, that's fine. I just don't want a cliffhanger and then it never comes back. That's what I hate.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm enjoying it. I don't know if anybody else is. I hate to go on and just see people complain. I feel like people complain just to complain. So I don't really want to. I don't want to engage in that. Whatever. It's okay to look. In a world, it's okay to just enjoy a thing. It's fine.
In a world where everybody has a voice and a platform, which we want, it can be exhausting.
Yeah.
Everybody's all the time. So
that's why, yeah. So anyway, I'm glad we discussed this. I feel like this is good. I'm
we
really
just did
looking
3
forward
episodes
to.
in 45 minutes.
Heck yeah.
Love
Well, I
that
mean,
for
they were
us.
like, I mean, it was one, it was him getting shot, and then it was him figuring out what they did while he was shot, and then it was just the Mensa thing, which was great, but it didn't really take up. I mean, they were good episodes. They were good character development episodes, but they weren't like, we didn't need to dissect anything that happened in them. Or we already had when we were talking about them in the previous episodes. Because we knew some of these scenes were coming, and I was looking for them. The shooting himself, threatening Gura, I was hoping we would do.
And then Rati challenging him on Sanctuary Moon lore.
Yeah. Can I say how much I deeply appreciate the fact that they are so lovely adding the weird rivalry that Murderbot has with Gurathrin for no reason.
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
No, I mean,
I'm
I don't
really enjoying the Gur character.
Well, when they're gonna
go ahead. Sorry.
Kate.
No.
Go ahead. No.
No.
I was gonna say, it's the part where it's gonna connect to Murderbot to reboot him, and it's like, oh, not him.
He's gonna do it.
Well, and I was going to say, from like a psychological level, sometimes the people that are the biggest mirrors of you and the people who can see you the best are the ones you fucking hate because they trigger annoyance. And I think that sometimes when I see myself and other people, I'm like, oh, I hate you. Not necessarily now, but like when you're in like more of an adolescent, lower frequency mode, right?
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to they probably end up having the best relationship because of the stripe. You know, it's enemies to lovers, but friendship.
Yeah.
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 It's good. I appreciated it.
I think it's funny, and I like the charm of it.
I wasn't sure I was going to like where they went with Gurathrin for the first couple of episodes, but I definitely see it. Like, I am enjoying the trajectory now.
Oh gosh. Oops. Sorry.
That's okay.
Did you hear it?
No.
Okay. I did.
All right. Well, we'll leave it here, and then we will be more timely with the rest of the episodes.
Yeah,
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So, I guess until next time, friends.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.